was okay. I just stay at my home with my family, and it was great moments in family.
Good. Good to hear. And now, do you have an access by chance to the whiteboard? Do you
Not
see the?
yet.
Not yet. So
I look.
slow.
I looking. No, I looking for the address. I haven't the link saved on my computer. I looking for. I looking for the address, the link.
Okay, 1 second. We should do this. We have another friend here. Fernando, good morning. Can you hear us?
Shalom, good evening, Eti.
Shalom,
Shalom,
shalom.
Rodrigo.
Shalom, shalom. How are you today?
I'm fine, Eti. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that I could join. I wasn't certain that it would be possible, so I'm happy that I'm here. It is so good to listen to you, to listen to your voice, and and everything is fine. And how is the day in Haifa, Eti?
It is better. It is better at the moment. We had a heat wave and now it's like clouds came to visit. And here to Rodrigo I sent a link to the class. Now it's better. Those few hours it's better. But it was so hot that even at night there was a ring of fire around the head and people could not sleep. So it's a bit challenging, but I think we are at the end of it, so it's better. Much better. Do you have questions that you would like to ask before we start, or thoughts?
Eti, I have a technical question.
Yes,
In
yeah,
fact, about the weak portions.
yes.
Um,
Fernando, please,
I noticed
Fernando,
that.
Fernando, Fernando, could you please increase your volume because it's too. I can't listen you. Almost can't listen you. Please.
Okay, I don't know if I can, but
Yes, it's better,
I will
it's
try.
better, Fernando, it's better.
Okay. Eti, the the weekly portion, I
Yeah.
would like to ask you because I noticed that sometimes the people in Israel are reading one portion and in the rest of the world maybe it's a week later or something like this. I'm not sure. But uh, when it starts again, the Bereshit portion now, since we have this Hagim and everything.
Yes, it is. We start reading the Torah from the beginning in the 22nd of October. This will be the Saturday of the 22nd. Then we shall read the Torah again from Genesis. I have the calendar here.
Okay.
Yes.
So in the next week, it is already the portion, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for the next week, right?
Yes, this is what I see here. Yes, this is what it says. Because,
Yes.
yes, so it's we are on the same page.
No,
Yeah.
excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. So yes, because just to the next Zohar meeting, so we will start the Bereshit again.
Yes. Yes.
We start
Thank
the
you.
read. Thank you, Eti.
Questions or thoughts, Rodrigo, Fernando, before we start? Something on your mind? Yes?
Eti,
Yeah.
I have a few questions to you, but not now. I just ready to follow you, Eti. My questions I can send later, on email or something like that. I have nothing at the moment, so we can go on.
So let's look into the whiteboard. I see Fernando is here. Rodrigo, we have like few verses from Genesis 24. Who would like to read it? The English version. Do you see the text? Is it clear?
Yes, I can read it, Eti.
Thank you.
So Genesis chapter 24. And Abraham was old, well stricken in age, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said unto his servant, the elder of his house, that ruled over all he had, Put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh. and I will make thee swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of the earth, that thou shalt not take a wife for my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell. But thou shalt go unto my country, into my kindred, and take a wife for my son, even for Isaac. And the servant said unto him, Peradventure the woman will not be willing to follow me unto this land. Must I needs bring this son back into the land from the whence camest? And Abraham said unto him, Beware that thou bring not my son back thither. The Lord, the God of heaven, who took me from my father's house and from the land of my nativity, and who spoke unto me, and who swore unto me, saying, Into thy seed will I give this land. He will send his angel before thee, and thou shalt take a wife for my son from thence. And the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham his master, and swore to him concerning this matter. And the servant took the 10 camels of the camels of his master, and departed, having all goodly things of his master's in his hand. And he arose and went to Aham Naharim, into the city of Nahor. And he made the camels to kneel down without the city by the well of water, at the time of evening, the time that women go out to draw water.
Thank you so much. What is the story here? What is the conversation about?
It is Abraham is giving a task to his servant Eliezer
Yes.
to find a woman for Isaac,
And
and he makes him swear that wouldn't be a Canaanite.
yes. Yes. This is true. Yes, Rodrigo, did you want to say something?
No, just to say it, just say that Abraham was want a wife to his son.
True. Why doesn't he want a wife from the Canaanite? Let's look into this perspective of Abraham. A Canaanite comes from which land? Canaan.
Canaan.
Yes.
Canaan. So let's write the name Canaan here on the board and see why Abraham does not wish to have a wife for his son from Canaan. Canaan. What is the value of Canaan? 190. Let's do it fast.
Yes,
Yes.
190. Yeah. Yes.
20, 50,
50.
70, and then 50.
Yes.
Canaan is 190, like the value of Ketz.
10
Ketz.
times Hava.
10 times Eve, very good. 10 times Eve, or 10. This is Eve. 10 times Eve, or Ketz, the end. He doesn't want a wife to his son, so to speak, from the tree of knowledge. He wants a wife to his son from the virtue, or from the tree of life. This is his request. This is why Eliezer swears in the thigh of Abraham. Thigh, Yarech. Yarech is a thigh. How the English is writing. Where is it? don't find the English at the moment, but Thai Yarech has the value of 230, 10,
This
220, plus the three letters themselves. This is 233, the tree of life. Do you see the connection?
Yes, I believe I can see it.
Now let's look what the Zohar says about. Let's focus on verse 11. Can you please read verse 11 in English, because the Zohar opens this verse. Let's focus on this verse. Can you read, please, please, please read it again. Hi, Felipe.
yes.
Good morning. Shalom.
Shalom, Felipe. And and he made the camels to kneel down without the city by the well of water at the time of evening, the time that women go out to draw water.
Thank you so much. And the Hebrew says the women who are drawing water are being named Sho'avot. Sho'avot. Here is the word Sho'avot. Those are the women who are drawing water. And I will read the Zohar, which was translated by Bala Sulam. I will read it in Hebrew and immediately translate it into English, intuitively, and see what is he writing. To the evening, to the time, le'et, tzet hasho'avot, to the time that the women are going to withdraw water. What is sho'avot? He says, drawing water, refers to the water of the Torah, because in this time they suppose the resurrection, first from all human beings, because they were dealing of withdrawing the water of the Torah, and they got fortified in the tree of life, and they will go first to the resurrection of the dead, because the tree of life caused them that they will wake up first, as we have learned. And then he says, explanation, Kav Emtzai, middle line, is called Torah, also named Etz Chaim, the tree of life. And the water of the Torah, meaning the abundance of the tree of life, and says that those who are in an intimate connection and receive the abundance from the middle line are named those who are drawing waters. Those will live from the beginning to the all rest, who continues their life from the other sides, meaning left and right of the tree. Do we understand this kind of perspective?
Yes. And the Shuavot is related with Teshuvah, right?
Yes. 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 Yes, it has the letters of Shabbat and to return. Shin, Bet, Tav. Or to withdraw water, the verb is sha'av, shin, aleph, bet. When aleph and bet, aleph is 1, bet is 2, so we have 3. And Av is the Father or the Spirit. And the Shin has 3 arms. So with the Shin, with the 3 arms of the Shin, withdrawing water and connect to the Spirit.
It is like maybe one way to look it is the one who can draw can take this water is like the one who can look, uh, look. I'm lacking the word, but is like the one who can overcome the rigid, right? Overcome the causality of facts, right?
Yes.
It it makes me remember Weinreb when he speaks that in this world, people tend to think about the casuality of things, like everything is rigid and casual. So if I make something, an action, it comes a response in the same direction, like the eye to eye and teeth for teeth, tooth for tooth. So
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I don't know where it coming is. I gonna mute my mic. It's not
It's
mine.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. Fernando reminded me a text of Weinreb that I read from Dieter in German and translated into English, that Weinreb says in his book that the story of Oedipus. Have you heard about the story of Oedipus?
Yes, I
Yes. Can
yes.
you tell us the story of Oedipus, because it has to do with a scientist or with rigid perception? Can you share with us the story, please?
Oh, and is the one had killed his father and then married with his mother, something like that.
Yes. Yes. There is
And he
this
has a big foot,
again.
something. And I know something related with his feet.
Mhm. Yes,
There is.
Oedipus. Oedipus. There's a long story, but the main core story is that he married his mother and killed his father. The thing is that this is like a legend or a mythology, and Weinreb says this is the frame of thinking of scientists, because the mother is also a measure. Again, mother, measure, it's almost the same sound. Mother, in Hebrew, ima, but also ama. Ama is a measure, a cubit. And the scientists, they are fascinated with measures and dimensions, with what is revealed under tests. And they don't have any access to the abstract or to the source. They have only access to the manifested through measuring things. And for Weinreb, this story of Oedipus is a frame story for the whole Western civilization. Just to kill the spirit of the father, just to have in the left hand the measures and the rigidity of data in their hand. Thank you, Fernando, for bringing this story. This is it. People also tend to attach to what they know. What do they know, or what they're familiar with, what they can measure. If they can measure and put it in a frame, kilometers, weight, and so they can catch it. It's in their hand. Yes, in the left hand of the receiver, but not in the right, the believer. Yes, Rodrigo. Fernando, would you like? Yes?
No, just to say that make a lot of sense what you said about the story of Oedipus, and just mention that he has his feet. How can I say? Swollen, a big feet. I don't know if, how can we fit. What's the meaning of this exactly in a symbolic way? But he has a bloated feet.
Yes, Fernando?
Oedipus.
Yes?
It is just it goes to what Eti is saying, because Oedipus used to limp. You know, he was only he used to walk only in one feet, only in the manifested. You know, and because when he was young, he was put. He was captured and put with his feet tied up, and he used to limp. But I think that he was not able to walk in the two legs, you know, the manifested and the hidden. He was only walking in the manifested, and this is the idea behind the story that you just pointed it.
It's from Weinreb book he wrote. Yeah?
Because the language, no, the language
Yeah.
of the tree of life is not something that we can go like on a straight way. You know, you need to circulate it. You need to relate with it. It is from a different angle that you can make it, right?
Yes. Questions, Fernando, Rodrigo? Or thoughts that you would like to share? Felipe? And there's a Fernando here also on YouTube. Do you have questions that you would like to ask?
Eti,
Yes.
since you are talking about this perspective of time, I noticed that the three final words of the verse 11, the final letter is tav. We have three tavs. I don't know what it means in a symbolic way. These three tavs in the last few words of the verse 11. But we know that tav would mean the development and the material.
Yes.
And I don't know if you have some lesson, some meaning that we can take from this.
Very good distinction, Rodrigo. Toda. Thank you. Le'et, zeta shavot, three times the ending letters are tav. Tav, tav, tav. I would like to open this. Tav, tav, tav is like, you say the manifested three times. So tav, tav, tav. This is 400. Or 444. Yes, 3 times 4 is 12. 12 in the power of 2 is what?
144.
Yes, Adam and Emet. Excellent. It's beautiful that you brought those 3 last letters, because Bala Sulam says something. We can read the Bible in abbreviation. Let's say Bereshit. This is abbreviation. Bereshit bara. So we take the bet. This is the first letter. And bet here is also the first. So this is abbreviation. But Balasul, this is also called in Hebrew Rashei Tevot. Rashei from head. Abbreviation. But Balasulam says something important. He says Sofet Tevot, the ending letters of every word is much more important. And you collected the 3 times tav. Excellent. And in Bereshit bara Sofet Tevot, the ending letters are tav and then aleph. He says the seal of the Spirit is in the ending letters. Very good. Very good. So the Zohar reads the text not just as a historical story, but this is the end of times. The end of times. When the veil of time has been removed, and then the tree of life speaks. This is it. Felipe says something here. It makes me remember that Jacob's stories have something related with one leg aspect. That's true. He was limping after the struggle with the angel. Very good. Very good.
Inky,
Yeah.
if I may ask you
Yes.
once, about the role of the camels.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know if you
Okay.
why Abraham sent like camels to make this exchange or to make this connection with the women, you know, the 10 camels that he gave to Eliezer. So I don't know what does it mean, the symbol of the camels.
Yes. Yes. The symbol of the camel. Gamal, camel. The Bible or the Zohar says what is Gimel or Gamal or camel? Gomel Chesed. Gomel Chesed. His action is only grace because the camel holds in his back water. So he sends with him 10 camels, 10 times grace.
And camel had the same value of the word chokhmah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Could we relate it with the Or Hasidim, like the
Yes.
light
Oh
of
Chasadim.
Mars?
Yes. Yes. Oh Chasadim. Yes. Yes. It's interesting because he sends 10 camels to with Eliezer, his helper, servant, and Eliezer did not know what to do, so he speaks to himself, and the woman that will withdraw water, not just for me as a person, but also for my camels, 10 camels, she will have Isaac. This is the vow or the swear that he makes in his heart, because Abraham sent him with an open check. Go to my country, go to my place, bring a woman to my son. He didn't say who. This is a very interesting triangle.
It is interesting that the water was not only for the soul, but maybe for the bodily manifestation, the animal part. Maybe, no?
Mm-hmm. Felipe is writing something.
Because I'm just thinking.
Yes. Yes.
Please,
Yes,
please
Fernando.
continue.
Yeah. I'm listening.
I was just thinking that Felipe said that the camel can go without the water for a long time. I'm just thinking here about the ideas. I think that our soul as well can go for a long mile without water. You know, some people forget their souls, forsake their souls for a long time. It lives in the desert for a long time since you turn back and look at it. From what Felipe said, the body can hold only few moments without water, like 2 days or some hours or some days. But our soul, I don't know how, but it can last long time without the water, without the divine spark in this world, waiting for this water. I don't know if it makes sense what I said it, but
It is true because the soul can hide, and once the soul is hiding, the body can go free in the world. A person does not need any other nourishment. It is true. Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, Ramchal, says the soul has the ability to, like a person for a while close his eyes, like seemingly not to notice what is happening. Also the soul, he says Ma'alima Ain, like disappears, not to participate in this carnival of time. This is very interesting, because the soul is not from here. So by disappearing, it's a kind of forgiveness to what is happening here in space and time. Yes, Felipe is writing. Yes, it is interesting. The wisdom, Chokhmah, can stand besides having the water time manifested. Why Abraham asked Eliezer, and I would like to move a bit from those, so to speak, historical perspective. What Eliezer represent in his name, in the structure of his name? What does he present?
Ezer is helper.
Helper, and the value, yes, but Eliezer stands for something else. He is helper, as we see here in the painting, but let's look into his name. Eliezer is 318, like
Seer.
Siach. Conversation, very good. So we could say that Abraham sends conversation, not just, let's try to think metaphorically. He sends Eliezer, but first there's a ceremony between them, or there's a swear. Eliezer swear that he will do as Abraham asked. Eliezer as a conversation inside of ourselves. Please, let's look into this story not just as a historical story between people, but inside of ourselves. Meaning, let's try to abstract the story. To whom Abraham looks or asks Eliezer to find a wife. Yes?
I'm sorry, could you repeat it, the question?
Yes. Abraham asked to find a wife to whom?
Isaac.
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 Yitzchak. 208, 8 times 26, laughter and joy, happiness. Joy. Now let's try to think about Isaac not just as a man who is looking for a wife, but who could marry happiness and joy as qualities. Let's not think again. Let's try to look at Yitzchak not as a person, but as a quality inside of us, a quality of the 8th day. Here, 8 times 26, the quality of the 8th day. He was the first baby to circumcise in the 8th day. So let's try to look at Isaac as the power or the quality of laughter and joy inside of us. And what will fit, or who will fit this quality? Let's think in terms of qualities.
Or neshama, maybe. Or
Yes, neshama.
Yes,
Yes,
neshama.
yes,
Yes, yes.
true.
the quality of being happy with little things, with the joy of life, and simply being happy for being happy. Just
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
So this is interesting because Eliezer is not just a servant of Abraham, but it's the ability to converse within ourselves. And Eliezer, the ability to converse. It is interesting because Thomas Mann called Eliezer in his book, Joseph and His Brothers, he called Eliezer pedagogue. And he says that every generation in the Bible has a pedagogue, meaning Eliezer, a conversation. The conversation is like a pedagogue, like educator figure. So Eliezer, the pedagogue, the conversation in us, is looking for a wife, something that will be a companionship to the happiness and the joy. This is it. It is, everything is happening inside of us.
Eti,
Yes,
Yes.
if I may ask one thing, that is, it makes me remember the book of Thomas Mann, because it has another Eliezer who is teaching Jacob, right?
yes,
Yes.
And Thomas Mann says that the Eliezer that is teaching Jacob, uh, he he identifies himself with the Eliezer that found a woman for Isaac. I thought they were like hundreds. I don't know how many years distance one from another. But it seems that like the spark of Eliezer goes through time. It is the same person. I thought it's not the same person. It is the same quality, we could say, right?
yes, yes,
Yes. Yes.
And we time to time we read here and there that in each generation, I think in this last portion, I don't know where I read it, but it's like every generation has a spark of Moses. Every generation has a spark of, we could say, Eliezer as well, and others. Uh, I don't know what to think about this quote, because I found it more than once. Every generation has a spark of Moses, and from Eliezer that is a quality. But we could say that each one of us maybe has this spark. I don't
yes,
know it.
yes,
Yes.
this is it.
Yes. This is it.
In each and every one
In
of us,
each and every one of
there is, the whole Bible is within ourselves, like the solar system that concludes everything. So each and every one of us has the ability, or I would say Abraham perspective, Isaac perspective, Joseph perspective, Eliezer perspective, and so Noah perspective. And so it's not about those people who lived 3,000 years before our time, but we have all of them inside of us. Yes, Rodrigo, Fernando?
I think that the question that follows it is how to connect with this, right?
when we converse,
because
yes,
please continue.
yes, when we converse, we see Eliezer. Eliezer is a aspect of conversation in us. So when we converse with friends, this is Eliezer. And so the one who always wants to go forward and to learn and always open to new things, this is Abraham. The natural talent, how Philon puts it, this is Isaac. When we have the situation of joy, inner joy, this is Isaac within ourselves, because this is doesn't have any condition, because this is beyond space and time. And when we live in space and time, there's like the trainer or the one. This is how Philon looks into Jacob. He sees Jacob 7 times 26. He sees him as a person who's training all the time, or wrestling, and so on. And Joseph in us, the one who converts in Egypt. Yes, Fernando, what did you want to ask?
Just one more idea about this topic is that Isaac Weinreb speaks as well that Isaac has a characteristic of the passive side, because we are seeing in this story that his father is looking for a wife for him,
Yes.
and in all his story we can see that the main decisions are making from others, like Rivka took the like exchanged the blessing from Esau to Jacob, and Isaac was the one who was binded for for a sacrifice. And in this topic, he's the one who is needing a wife, but his father is looking for a wife and not himself. So what could be the Isaac in us about this quality of not being the active but the passive side? Maybe how could we relate to it?
Philon says something interesting. He says Isaac in us is the talent. Each and every one of us was granted with different talents. So it's just a spark that we came into life with this spark, with this talent. This is passive. It was given to us. We didn't do anything. We did not make any effort, any progress. We did not practice. So this is the passive side in us. This is Isaac in us. We were given with certain qualities or talented. Now, it is in our hand whether to take those talents, natural talents, and to develop them. Does it make any sense, Fernando?
Yes, it makes it. I'm just thinking that I think that the quality of Isaac also could be related that he maybe. I'm just trying to find is like um, to not be in control, like to understand that everything is fine, and the Hesed, the grace is looking for the solution of things. Because one sometimes tend to think that everything is on his hand, and he needs to move the world to find a solution. But the solution is coming without his force sometimes.
This is true. This is true.
Eti,
Yes.
in this perspective, you mentioned a few minutes ago that Isaac represents the happiness and the joy, and you asking who could marry with this happiness and this joy. And we don't talk about Rebecca as a quality. And I know that Rebecca, the value of the name Rebecca is 307. And I try to find the quality that we can apply or the quality that Rebecca could represent to married Isaac. And if you could clarify this to me, I appreciate. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Here, look at the relation between camel and the name of Rebecca. Look at the numbers.
The
Camel.
seven,
Yes.
yes, the 7 and the 3.
Yes. Yes. So one camel is 73, Chokhmah, wisdom. Eliezer brought with him 10 camels, so it's 730. So look at the numbers now. You see? The
Yes, the
same
same numbers.
digits, but in a different order. Yes. Yes.
It is a
And
equivalence.
as a quality,
Yes, again.
It
Fernando?
is a equivalence of form.
Yes. Yes. Also here, without a zero in the middle, it's 37 and able. The quality of able. Because, Fernando, you said one moment ago that the quality of Isaac is not to have all the time the notion of control and the sense that the world is lying on his shoulder, just to go innocent with life. And this is it. This is it. This is why Rebecca, this is a companionship of Isaac of joy. Have a laugh with Rose and Abel.
Yes.
lightness.
Mm-hmm.
Sailing west. It
Yeah.
it is maybe the 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 idea is that when one feels complete, everything works just fine. You know?
Yes.
When you do not have the sense of lacking, it is something that everything just go fine when you are complete. You know, when you feel complete, because the 3 and 7 also gives 10, right? 7
Yes.
plus 3.
And Fernando, sorry to interrupt you, but Isaac also 2 plus 8 also is the number 10.
Yes. Great. Yes.
Yes.
Philip is writing both Camel and Abraham are related with Chokhmah. The camels nailed out of the city, so could we think that Abraham humbly nailed as well in order to find a proper wife to Isaac? Yes. It is interesting what you say, Felipe, because also when we don't have this yet in this chapter, but once Eliezer bring Rebecca to the land of Canaan for Isaac, she will fall from the camel, meaning fall. A person who rides upon a camel is quite high, more than a horse, and as a, how do you say, a gesture of humility, she just fell from the camel, not to be taller or higher than Isaac. Also, the camel is in order that we could go down from the camel's back. The camel always need to kneel. This, how do you say, action in the camel, kneeling the camel, called havracha. Havracha. We cause the camel to kneel but in the camel is kneeling. He becomes not that high. He becomes little, and the kneeling in Hebrew has to do with blessing.
Yes.
Berech is a knee,
This was what I was thinking.
yes, and bracha, yes. This is also, Felipe, the blessing that God gave to Isaac. Veheye bracha, and you should be blessing. Questions, thoughts?
Eti,
Yeah.
could you we please look at the picture because it's always a good conversation when you talk about these pictures because uh, there is a lot ideas that came from this these paintings.
Yes. What do we see here?
A lot of women and Eliezer and two camels.
And which one of the ladies who are drawing water from the well might be Rebecca?
Yes, yes, this
Yes.
one.
Yes. Since we spoke about kneeing and kneeling the camel, her name Rebecca, Rivka, has the letters of kneeling, berech and blessing, Rebe. If we change the kof, the K, with kaf, yes, Rebecca, like this, not with kof but with kaf, this is blessing, bracha. Do you see? Because the sound of K in Hebrew we can get either from the kof, which its value is 100, or from the kaf, which its value is 20. If we change, this is very important in the book of Zohar as well, to learn to, it's like changing codes all the time. When we change the sound of K, kof, with kaf, this is Rebecca in this way, and this is basically bracha. Here, the bet, the resh. But also a pull, because those letters, bracha, with a different punctuation is brecha. Brecha is a pool of water. Pool of water. We could look at it differently, that every blessing is a pool of water, is a source of water.
Iti?
Yes?
Just one idea, just to share one idea. I was reading a book from C.J. Jung
Mm-hmm.
last night. The name is Ion, but it was interesting. Just one quote that he speaks that analogy is the language of the soul. Is the most language. He not used the term exclusive or something, but it's like if I understood well, it was like the analogy, the when one has the ability to make analogies or to speak in this way, this symbolic form, he's the one who is speaking the language of the soul, you know. And I was thinking that to take this water and this blessing and everything is when one can have the ability to make the analogy, when one has the ability to make to see the symbol and not to see the concrete, you know, like to or better to put water in the concrete, you know, to make things diluted in a diluted form, not as a dead end, you know. It is concrete, and this is how it is. Because when we start to make analogies like we are making with this text, we are not more thinking about a helper that went to another land to find a woman, you know.
Mm.
We are seeing like the structure of the universe maybe, and the structure
Yes,
of the
yes, yes.
soul.
This is it.
Right.
We
Just
could.
to,
Yes.
I think that the beraha and the water is related with this conversation of analogies, you know, symbols and analogies.
That's true. In a way, the conversation in us, Eliezer, looks for analogy, and where can he find it? In the water, because the water has an aspect of a mirror. This is the analogy. This is why he looks for water. The conversation, the words, they need a mirror. Because the conversation always brings what is there to the manifested. So he needs the blessing, bracha, he needs the blessing of water. He needs the mirror. The conversation needs to stand in front and to mirror what she sees or what comes to her. I call it conversation, it's a her, but a conversation. Yes? Because conversation is creation. Have you heard the word Kabbalah? Have you heard the word Kabbalah or Kabbalah in the past?
Of course, yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would like to look at the Arabic root of Kabbalah and see how the Arabic word helps us here. Kabal, in front of. So, what is Kabbalah? And this is Kabal here without the sound of hey or a. What is Kabal or Kabal in Arabic? In front of.
Lifnei.
Lifnei. Lifnei. Very good. Lifnei. What is in front? So what is a Kabbalist or what is Kabbalah? Is, like Fernando says, a person present in a moment and what is happening in front of him. Lefanav. Lefanav is not just in front of him, but also panim, face, milshon, pnim, and inner. So the situation that we're facing are basically inner speech, if we accept it, because Kabbalah is also in front of Lifnei, inner and so, but also to receive and to have a dialogue with what is happening. This is the meaning of Kabbalah. This is the meaning of Kabbalist. This is why he also can write his impression and communicate, because he comes in a situation of conversation with what is happening. He is alive. This is why here Bala Sulam says the tree of life is in the middle. The Kabbalist, I don't want to go into this field because millions of books were written about this topic. But once a person notice and engage with what is happening inside of his life every moment, he is in a connection with the inner, with what is happening also in the other realm, beyond space and time, in what is not rigid, like Fernando says. Like you send a hand into the water, you see something in the water, and you see something. It's not rigid, it's not concrete. You can send your hand and something is there going on. Like you send your hand into the mirror, there's another reality. So a person who is noticing what is happening in front of him and engaging with what is happening and goes into conversation with what is happening, he is alive.
He's awake and
He's
aware.
awake, he's awake, yes. This is the conversation about Jeremiah. Yes, God says, what do you see in front of you? I see a stick of an almond, or I see a pot, or everything that we notice in the morning. It doesn't happen. It doesn't matter if it's in the morning, in the evening, outside the house, or inside the house, in a dream, or to be engaged with what is coming. This is the meaning of being human, Adam and Emet. Because once we ignore those omens, conversations, this is like what Weinreb calls, this is hunger or famine. This is boredom. When a person is engaged with what is happening, because the universe always sends us signals, dreams, conversation, coincidence, synchronicities all the time, letters from people, timing, everything is a communication. But the universe asks us to be engaged, to be awake. Beautiful example, Fernando.
Beautiful lesson it, because it this conversation that we just had, it is like calling, you know. It is like be aware and enjoy the day and listen to what is happening. It is like every day we have the opportunity to live the cosmic drama, let's say the happenings of the Torah, if we are aware. So it is amazing class 18, I think.
Thank you so much. Also, in Sukkot is considered to be the holiday of water. Also, another cycle of the Torah is ending and we start soon another reading of the Torah, the 5 books of Moses. And this is beautiful. Just this is a call for us to be engaged in life, because in other centuries people used to sit in front of the TV and vegetate and just develop diabetic. Only people can develop diabetic only from looking at TV. Did you know this? From looking at TV non-stop, people can develop diabetes. And
I
Really?
didn't.
I did not know.
I,
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's not about it's not about even overeating. Just from being passive, watching TV passively, people develop diabetes.
This is amazing. It is not good at all, but it is amazing because um, it is interesting, I think, because we study a lot, about this. Uh, I would not say Kabbalah because it is a term that was misused sometimes, but is hidden wisdom.
Mhm.
And we know and we are exposed to a lot of wisdom, like hidden wisdom about the four worlds, about the unity of the one who can have the thought, the heart, and the kavod, and the and how the one had the needed to be whole, to be a unity and to manifest what is in the hidden and everything. But sometimes when we are in our daily lives, we have difficult to apply this knowledge. And the example is just right there. The one who is passive and stay in the front of television just consuming fast food from the television, like
This is
from
it. This
with
is
his
it.
eyes. Like the body shows that he is with a lot of sugar, so it's quite something. Like it changes the perspective that because the scientific view that we were speaking says that you need to go to the gym and you need to make this and that.
Yes.
But in fact, we have another things that are not so casual. It is a little different. It's quite different.
It is
I'm
very.
not able to explain everything that came to my mind, but but I
It is.
thank you.
Thank you for mentioning this, because people tell us to spend in the phone. You have measuring calories, measuring kilometers, heartbeats, all this measuring. But to be creative, to write something, a letter to a friend, to initiate, to write a poem, to write a music, to record it, to try to engage with people. Creativity is not appreciated at all. But creativity is like remedy. If a person, let's say each and every one of us got a share of life, and each moment from infinite source we get a heartbeat, God bless, and we have air. It's something that we don't choose. This is what comes to us. We receive life, and with the life that we are receiving with every breath, there's a potential. If we use the potential right, we grow and flourish, and all people around us are happy, and we are happy. But if we don't use this potential of breath at every moment we are being given, and we're just sitting passive in front of TV, it opposites itself on us. The Vav, the connection opposites, and people developing all kinds of diseases as a consequence of being passive and not being engaged in conversation and in life in general, and not being listening to the signals that the universe tries to communicate to us all the time. So it's not about running for kilometers every day and being people being nervous on the phone if they don't run. This is not about it. At the end of the day, each and every one of us has to ask himself, herself, am I happy with the day that I received? Did I write a letter? Did I initiate, negotiate for good? This is what matters. And when we are conversing with other people, this is the meaning of being alive. A person keeps things to himself is a tree of knowledge. Some people think that if they keep for themselves, it's they're making them like kind virtuous people. No, it's the opposite. Because once we share, we also need to develop a communication that fits the listener, and this is when creativity step in. So this is what I would like to wish all of us, to be creative and happy.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Just to point one, I know that we passed it,
Yeah,
but
it's okay.
I cannot let this spark go because it's from Weinreb. He speaks that creativity and being healthy is the same root, bria, right?
Mm-hmm. True.
So the one who is healthy is the one who is creative,
Thank you so much.
has
And
creativity. Thank you, Eti. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
thank
to
you.
share.
And I wish you like to be very creative.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Chag
you very
Sameach.
much.
Thank you.
Fernando, thank you, Eti.
Thank you so
Have-
much, Felipe, Fernando, Rodrigo.
Hag
Have
Sukkot Sameach, Eti. and
Chag Sa-
friends.
Chag Sameach, and have the best of happiness in life. Shalom, shalom.
Thank you.
Thank you. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Thank you very much.